Hey guys, welcome to episode 10 of How I Tank.
Long overdue.
Long overdue, but today we have Whiskey Dodd from Red Sky playing his T50-2. And before we start, I want to say that this guy is one of the best -2 players I've ever seen. Also, a horrible pain in the ass in Clan Wars, but that's a story for another day.
Whiskey Dead, we target you first.
Always, always. And anyway, again, we apologize for having taken so long to get episode 10 out. We've had a very busy life.
Combination of lots of schoolwork and getting Griff to play Tor with me.
Yeah, and Tor, a great game, by the way. You should join us on the server Hyperspace Cannon.
We have the guild Super Secret Ballers. Message anybody online to try to get in.
Absolutely. Anyway, so getting into the game.
He starts out with a pretty solid beginning scout route.
Scout route, yeah. He never slows down. He never stops and peeks around anything. He's always moving. Doesn't suicide rush, which is something that a lot of scouts do. Which a lot of scouts do. He tries to stay alive and just spots whatever he can. So good move there. Whiskey.
You don't always have to be in front as a scout.
Yeah.
And two different signs of a good scout. One, they sit still and never be spotted. Or two, they never stop moving. If you do anything between, you're a bad scout.
Right. He comes around, he starts engaging this AMX, whatever that was. Always swerving to avoid fire, very good.
And I believe he has auto-aim on there, which do not be afraid to auto-aim if you're going
especially if you're moving
40 or up and trying to hit something on the move.
Yeah, if you need to focus on drawing, auto-aim, not a bad idea.
It's there for a reason. Though one thing to note, that auto-aim will center on the turret of a tank.
Right, and generally, well, not in the case of the Tiger P, but most tanks you don't want to shoot there. Just pro tip from Smig and Griff. Don't shoot areas with high armor.
Shoot the weak spots.
I mean, I will say that Whiskey, he's pretty aware of, and I know this is sort of hard to give as a tip because it's basically saying be better, but Whiskey does a very good job of being aware of what's around him. I mean, he screwed up a bit with that M4 there, but just the same, he seems to know what his tank can do, what it can get around.
And he's focusing on maneuvering rather than trying to hit targets.
Right. He's been quite a nuisance so far, ignoring that rock hit there. You can't be perfect.
So, sorry with all the submissions. We've been kind of slowly going through them and picking what we want to broadcast and whatnot. This week was pretty hard because we had to go through I think we had about 70 stockpiled.
60-something, yeah.
It was not an easy choice, like always. But
I will point out that, although this might be obvious for some, he does in fact come back to the base to counter their 50-2, which was going to wreak havoc. And actually kind of did, but
until he ran into a wall. That -2 was not auto-aiming. Which is kind of hard to do in a -2 fight because both are moving at least 50 at all times.
Yeah, I find these fights to be kind of entertaining,
but he gets a good track, and a track light tank is a dead light tank.
I think we can assume that now that Whiskey has started circling this light tank, his time on this planet is over.
And pro tip for -2 drivers, use the 57mm. All the other guns are just bad.
Yeah, there you go.
You want
the best option for sure.
You want pen over rate of fire or damage, especially since the -2 is guaranteed a tier 8 match.
Right, and I think in most cases it helps to just be able to know you're going to do damage and not have to worry too much about that. So the higher penetration helps a lot.
Now this is a gutsy move.
I'm actually a little surprised this worked out for him. I think the Type 59 was a little bit on the unobservant, unaware side, or just plain bad. But
probably a combination of all three.
Just the same, he knows he could have taken at least one hit from that Type 59. So in the end, this move wasn't a terrible idea because he very likely would have survived.
Unless ammo rack, which the T50-2 is very prone to.
Very prone to. So he gets into their base. He ignores the AFK 1375, which is a smart move. Goes right for the artillery. The derpy little SU-5 here.
Though, I feel like he should have auto-aimed on this guy.
Yeah, I think sniper mode is a bit of a...
Sorry for motion sickness that this induces.
Yeah, I apologize. Now focusing on the AFK 1375.
not stopping moving. It's very important to keep your momentum.
Absolutely. If you're in a dash 2, literally never stop moving if you're in combat. There are some situations where you just want to sit still in a bush, but if you're fighting anything or moving around without cover, you never want to stop.
Another pro tip for Dash 2s, train camo first. I know I'm going to regret saying this and having everybody start training camo, but it really is the skill you want on a Dash 2. If you're wondering the reason why, light tanks do not break camo on the move, only when they shoot.
Right, so most tanks, medium, heavy, tank destroyers, whatever, they have 2 separate camo multipliers, one for when they're stationary and one for on the move. Light tanks have the same multiplier regardless of whether or not they're moving or stationary, so they're just as hard to spot. Regardless of bushes, of course, bushes will still help you out, but you still get the same camo multiplier. So a fully camo trained dash 2, even on the move, can be very annoying to spot, and in most cases, you'll only spot them when you actually proxy spot them at 50 meters, which is the guaranteed spot range for all tanks.
Now, he's at 6 kills, a very impressive feat for a light tank in a tier 8 match.
Yep. So waiting for this IS-3 to aim away from him or fire, then he pops out and takes his shots. Again, good awareness is something that everything should do, really.
IS-3, even though he's kind of doomed right now, it does the right decision by backing up. You don't want a little dash 2 on your butt. So Whiskey realizes this. He's hanging back, waiting for the bigger tanks to engage.
Getting a bit of a peek, and this is a bit of a dangerous situation for Whiskey, although he realizes that the IS-3 isn't focusing on him anymore. Looks like he burns through the rest of his AP ammo.
And starts throwing nickels.
And backs up as soon as the IS-3 starts looking at him. Actually, let's say a little risky there, but
IS-3's long. You can probably hit the back of it without it seeing you. At least traversing to you. Taking the high ground. Not taking the high.
Almost taking the high ground. But it's good to be aware of what you can and can't do, especially with the mobility. Good to take advantage of it. This IS-3 is now doomed.
Probably a little overkill with the APCR to the butt, but I don't think he had much of a choice. So 7 kills in the light tank. He got his Whitmans. I know it's not called that, but I don't give a shit.
Whitman's much cooler than bolters or whatever.
Yeah, harder to remember too.
Very good dash 2 driving. Great situational awareness. Always moving, swerving to avoid fire.
Auto aim.
And auto aim. Just in general, good decision making. So, for our sake, never drive your dash 2 like this. But if you want to be good, drive your dash 2 like this.
Yeah, or go sit in a bush somewhere. Anyway, this has been episode 10 of How I Tank. We'll be trying to produce as much content as we can when we can.
Yep, and never forget that Griffius is cooler than Smiggetti.
If you want to play Tor with us, we're on Hyperspace Cannon. It's a West Coast PvE server. I know that will probably frustrate some of you, but whatever. West Coast is best coast.
You have to know East Coast is Beast Coast.
Whatever, you bunch of animals. Anyway, we're Republic on Hyperspace Cannon. We'll have at least a Lorraine gameplay sometime after this.
Yeah, I look forward to more stuff after that.
Yeah, and we'll see you all later.